Hey guys, hope all is well. Welcome to my kitchen. I figured I'd do some more educational videos. Kurt's working upstairs, Ariana's back at school. We're doing the virtual learning, right? And I had been working on some contracts earlier today, but I wanted to jump on here and I figured, hey, it's been a minute since me and you spent some time together. We've done some recent cocktails with Kurt's, which has been great. So we're gonna try to do those, I think, on Sunday night. So make sure you join us on Instagram Live for that. But one topic I really wanted to discuss with you guys is new homes. If you saw a recent post, I think we wrote, we're welcoming 12 new Great Homes ATL family members into the family. This past week, we went under contract with 12 family members. So new homes seem to be, and they are, an exciting process, and it could be lots of fun. But, we get hit up by a lot of people asking us, hey, can we buy a piece of land and build on it? Would you help me do it that way? Other people want to be in a brand new home community, an HOA community like we built in, because that was something that fit our lifestyle. And you see me post about those very often as well. And you probably sometimes are wondering, like, okay, do you ever go out and do videotapes of just land, and then can I custom build it? I want to share with you a little bit about the process, who that's for, and really how these 12 new family members ended up choosing to do it, which is how we do it, and how 9 out of 10, actually 10 out of 10, we haven't really had an experience yet where somebody did just buy land and go through that process. But let me explain to you a little bit of why typically people don't. Unless you come from a lot of money, or you're a VP, or you're a CEO, or you are an entrepreneur and you're just sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars, me and you, 9 out of 10 people, are not going to be able to do it. When you go and find a piece of land, and it's funny that a lot of times people that want to do this want to be in a Cobb County or a Roswell, an Alpharetta, Sandy Springs, Gwinnett, whatever the case may be. And the land and the land lots in these areas are, 150, 200,000 just for the land. And a lot of these people that hit us up, they're having a hard enough time just finding $2,500 earnest money to put down. So I think it's just about an education. It's not, to make fun of anybody, because we didn't know. And I wanted to share, my experience with you. So when Kurt and I were thinking about building a house, we stumbled up the subdivision that we liked, that was actually a for sale. We saw a for sale by owner sign on it. And actually the person that lived next door that had the house there, they owned that piece of land next door, and it was a beautiful wooded lot. And I think they wanted, I want to say like $65,000 or $70,000 for it. So, we totally said, well, let's just talk to one of our mortgage lenders and just kind of see, what does that look like? We don't have $65,000, $70,000 to just throw down and then not know what to do with it. So we reached out to our lender, and they said he had, a program was like 15% down, and you could finance the loan for it. So I said, well, when me and Kurt were talking about it, we were like, well, if we're not sure what exactly we're going to do with it, like, why incur another bill just to say you own a piece of land? Because last year we bought a piece of land outright, cash outright. And it was a nice lot, but it was not something that we wanted to build like our next house with. Maybe a future home, maybe an investment property, maybe something for our parents, something like that. So we said, well, let's explore it. Let's meet with a local builder and see, what we can build. And we already had a really nice house. And so we said, the next house, we want an elevator, we want a carriage house, we want 3 or 4 sided brick. Well, the reality hit us pretty hard when we met with the builder, and he's like, yeah, you see that house next door? Like, nice three-sided brick ranch, um, but not a whole lot of bells and whistles, no like elevator, no pool, no anything like that. So you're probably looking at about 550 to 600,000. And we're like, whoa. And on top of that, how it works is basically you have to do what's called a construction to perm loan, which means you as the buyer, you as the person that's building your house, has to finance it. That's a lot of risk. This was like right before COVID hit too. And so if the foundation, the land needs to be graded out, utilities need to be put in, foundation, say it's 40,000 to put down the basement foundation. The bank is financing that for you, but you're paying the interest on it every step of the way. After that's done, the framing happens. After that, wiring and electrical and plumbing, and then drywall, all this type of stuff. So weather conditions, permitting, people walking off the job, whatever the case may be, if that house takes 9 months, 12 months, 16 months, 24 months, you are still paying the interest on that loan to have the house be built. On top of that, if you don't buy the land outright, you're financing, the lot as well. So we're like, dang, we do, as much as we'd want something that custom, you have to purchase a floor plan, find your favorite architect. There's some good ones out there, Frank Betts, Boy, other local ones that are really coming up. You got to buy that architecture plan. You got to hire the builder. They're not just going to build you a house at cost value, right? They're going to have to pay labor. They're going to have to pull people off of other jobs to work on yours. Electricians, it's not just one builder building your house. When you build a house, you have the HVAC person, the drywall people, the tile people, the flooring people, like everybody has to get paid. So it's always like much, much more expensive to do it that route. And it's, to be honest with you, it's really for somebody, like I said, that has a ton of money, that can incur that kind of risk, because again, when COVID hit, when everything shut down, guess what? The bills don't stop coming in, right? But the workers are stopped coming in, and then you have to deal with contractors issues and legal issues and all kinds of stuff. So for anybody that wants to do that, make sure you have a lot of money, and you even have the ability to buy out a lot that's 40,000, 80,000, 150,000. See, when you start putting these numbers together, you realize, crap, that's not for me. And that's what kind of happened, for us. So all 12 of these last clients, and a majority of our clientele this year have built new, is there's ways to still get a great floor plan and make it your own, and then do some tweaks after the fact, because it's not going to be custom. Now, as you go more custom or semi-custom route with some of the builders, there's more out-of-pocket expenses up front. So let me kind of give you an example. So there's an example of a first-time home buyer, maybe somebody that is looking to get some help with closing costs. Most builders are probably going to give you around $5,000 when you use their preferred lender. But you still have to worry about your earnest money, your down payment, and the remainder of your closing costs. Many first-time home buyers or people that are relocating, and they want to build new, do not have a huge lump sum of money. They're going to have enough to close on the house, but they're not going to have initially a lot up front. So there's a lot of national or big builders that require as little as $1,000 or $2,500 down. They usually have 8, 9, 10 floor plans to choose from. You may go to a design center, but at that price point and that low of earnest money, you're probably looking at, making a few tweaks, maybe adding hardwoods to an additional room than what they give you, maybe throwing in blinds, maybe upgrading a granite from a level 1 to a level 2. That's the average everyday person that is going to go through this process. Then you have the next level, which would probably be, I think recently I posted the homes that got a huge reaction. I have about 2 clients going under contract right now for the Conyers homes with the big columns, 2-story family rooms, 4-sided brick. That comes at a cost. That requires only when you use the preferred lender, 4% down. That's a construction deposit to start the home building process, where you pick your lot, choose one of the floor plans, go to a design center and pick things out. What happens though for a lot of people, number one, at that price point, you're looking at probably high threes, maybe even up to about 500,000. You get those buyers that call us and they have a 550 credit score, or they have the great credit scores but have $5,000 in the bank looking for down payment assistance. That's not you. This is somebody that really is prepared with like 7 to 10% down, meaning if you can get the loan at 3% down payment or 3.5% down payment, then you have closing costs still. And that could be another 3.5 to 4%. So I like to tell people, whether it's a resale or a new home, at a minimum, if you're looking at like under $400,000 price point, at the worst case scenario, like you're going FHA, save at least 3.5% for down payment, 3.5 to 4% for closing costs. And in those cases, you're gonna get a little bit of help, typically $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 towards your closing cost. So you have to do those numbers in your head. If you're looking at these Conyers houses and they're priced around $400,000, you should already know I got to multiply that by 7 or 7.5%. I know I have to put 4% of that to start this process. That 4% is then going to go towards your down payment and closing costs. But initially, you need that 4%, which I think equates to around $16,000. What also happens though is now people are excited, they got their pre-approval, they're comfortable with their monthly payment. But of course, at that price point, you're going to want to do more hardwoods, maybe quartz instead of granite, stuff like that. Typically, these builders, you're going to go to the design center, but they're going to require anywhere from 100%, but most likely at least 50% additional deposit. And again, if you've saved up the 7.5%, 7%, 8% to 10% range, like putting more money down, because it's not money that's being thrown away. It's going to help you as far as you already got to come to the table, with 7 or 7.5% minus the contribution from the seller towards your closing costs. So what does it really matter if I have to put half up front to get the quartz countertops that I want, or the hardwoods? But you see how that's a totally different price point. That's somebody that probably is more so has $20,000 to $30,000 to do this process. Then finally, you're looking at more of a semi-custom, very detailed, very much design center product. You have floor plans, you might be able to tweak, add a little additional square footage, add a keeping room, add a sunroom, stuff like that. Products like that, you're probably looking at around $25,000 down just to start that process. Then when you go to the design center, you are going to be paying most likely about half of that again. All goes into a pot, all is still your money, all goes towards your down payment and closing costs. But that's probably more like a $500,000, $600,000, all the way up to $1 million product. And so when people hit us up again and thinking like, I only have to put $2,500 earnest money for something like that, no, that's a very high-end, middle class, upper middle class to luxury home buyer. So those are the things to kind of think about because our clients are doing it. And what you have to realize in these situations too is that you also, when you go to the design center, there's going to be things that, like the hardwoods, you want to take care of that, countertops and stuff like that. But lighting, paint colors, things that builders are going to upcharge you for, maybe adding a covered patio, those are things, fences, those are things that you can do after the fact to still keep your price point within where you think that appraised value is going to be. Because if the house appraises less than what you went under contract for, you're going to be responsible for that difference. So that's the message, guys. Buying land, building it from the ground up is totally custom. It's very expensive. It's pretty much 25 to 50% more than if you went into what's called a planned unit development, an HOA, something like that. The builder has already, worked with a developer to pave the streets, put in street lights. You just pick out the floor plan, put down your earnest money, work with the lender, and you're gonna have a brand new home. So hopefully that helps you. And we will talk to you soon. Make it a great day.